Hello, everybody. Welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're all doing better and fantastic, and that you're all having a wonderful day. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and on Facebook. Links in the description below. A very big thank you to everyone every single day who leaves a comment. And without any further ado, let's jump right into it. This is going to be, I don't know if it's going to be an intense video, but just understand that for whatever the reason might be, things have shifted. You might remember that we had like a really negative, and I want to say like 3 weeks ago, somewhere around this point. Time is blending together. I don't know days anymore. For whatever the reason might be, if you saw the last couple of videos, analysts are convinced that the cryptocurrency market at the literal end of this month is going to begin to go insane. We saw news that, and it's a handful of analysts who are saying that Q2, quarter two of this year is going to be when the analysts say we're going to see like the big money pump. I don't know exactly what is causing this like hyper aggressive bullishness. If you've missed it as well before, every analyst is bullish on the market. The most negative one was Arthur Hayes. He said, and this was, he said about a month ago, he's like, yeah, I think Bitcoin's going back to 75, 78,000. And people were like, you're crazy. Lo and behold, we fell back down there, and now he's also predicting a mega ultra bullish move. However, in the short term, this is where it gets a little crazy. It says Bitcoin is predicted to blast off in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, as global liquidity trends turn in favor of crypto and risk assets. If you at some point missed any of the videos, you were probably one of the people who left the channel when prices dropped. Welcome back. The secondary part is that world economic analysts, money people, are all kind of predicting that we this year, and I mean almost imminently, are going to see China begin to pump hundreds of billions, with a B, of dollars into their markets to kind of basically keep them afloat and kind of keep them looking okay. The United States is expecting, well, we're expecting the United States to begin printing more money as well very soon. We know that the European Union is going to be doing it. There are rumors of the European Central Bank potentially cutting interest rates further. And we're also seeing now speculation that the Fed is also going to lower interest rates as well, with a huge injection of money into the market. For whatever reason, I don't know who's behind the scenes, who knows exactly what's going on, what the speculation is. Everyone's like, now, this is happening now, this is going to take place, and it's like, okay, guys, calm the fudge down, because we as the public, I feel like we're missing something. Blast off in 3 weeks as global liquidity trends turn in favor of crypto and risk assets. On Twitter, someone named Andre Dragosh, European head of research at asset management firm Bitwise, has predicted the global money supply will hit new all-time highs. Well, I mean, we all kind of knew that price was that's going to be a thing. A new Bitcoin price tailwind is brewing as the US dollar strength drops to its lowest levels since the start of November last year. The US dollar index, once again, the Dixie's in a lot of recent videos for some reason, which measures dollar strength against a basket of trading partner currencies, is apparently going to drop below the level of 104. This is from data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView. For Dragosh, the implications are pretty clear. He said, and I quote, "If this trend continues like that, global money supply will soon reclaim new all-time highs," talking about the Dixie as the most bullish chart you will see today. And then he wrote, you know what that means for Bitcoin, and then he gave us a bunch of squiggly lines as well. The greenback has yet to benefit substantially from the new U.S. government administration, and it's not going to. I don't think people really understand. It doesn't, now hear me out. It doesn't matter which administration or who's in office. The dollar is going to inflate regardless. Sometimes people have this idea in their head that anyone controlling any money supply or even the Fed, that they're not intent on keeping inflation at a certain level and or above. If you don't know the normal numbers on any given year, every country will always proclaim that their inflation rate is anywhere between 2 to 3%. What we see now from the Fed is this constant discussion that the US dollar, they want inflation to be beneath 2%. So that they can kind of gear everything back up. But it never is ever below 2%. Like ever actually. I was just chatting with a friend, super long, without having to dive into a crazy story. We were talking about like price increases, and he was asking his job about like a raise and stuff like that. And we were going over, like, we keep hearing that, you know, inflation is around like 3%. And he's like, well, everything I buy in the grocery store is like 40% more expensive. Like everything I'm doing, no matter where I eat, no matter where I go. So anyway, the point is, this is a rather long article. This guy is predicting that the 25th of March is apparently going to be the blast off date for the cryptocurrency market. I ask you to take that with a grain of salt as much as you possibly can, simply because no one knows what the future is going to be. However, it is once again very weird. This is similar to last summer, where every analyst was like mega bullish on the cryptocurrency market. Prices were trending sideways because of Grayscale selling off some of their fund, not their ETF, but from their actual thing that they had. And then all of a sudden, everything went completely insane. So once again, to reiterate, every analyst is screaming from the top of the hill. This he has a date, the 25th of March. And besides that, we are hearing a lot of the very end of this month to quarter two, which is also at this point in a couple of days. I saw a lot of talk about Bitcoin has to go over, I think it's 101, 104, and then 109 were the numbers I saw in order to like reignite the hyper bull run and then basically set a course for $130,000 per coin. It's nice to see the optimism. I'll give you that much. That's the 25th of March blast off date for Bitcoin. And yeah, let's move on. Also, in another day, another SEC thing, the United States Securities and Exchange Commission is dropping charges once again in another high-profile crypto investigation, according to Kraken, the second largest U.S. crypto exchange by volume. The SEC has agreed, in principle, to dismiss its lawsuit against the exchange. This is happening more and more. It's getting a bit insane at this point. As far as the amount of lawsuits that are being dropped, it is, let me not confuse you. It is very nice to see, but the rapidness of this happening is also like, clutching your pearls. It's like, what's next? The current SEC administration that we have doesn't appear to be run by a psychopath. And this is why I think we're seeing a lot of this like good news as of late. I'm still timid. I won't lie to you. I'm still timid. We had news and I don't have it here because it's like, okay, whatever. There's around 40. That's not a fake number. 40 plus different ETFs being proposed, or that paperwork has been given to the SEC. But they've delayed, I think, 3 or 4 of them recently. And, nobody wants delayed news, so it's like whatever. But they're doing what they've done before, saying that they need like an extended amount of time to assess and evaluate what these actual applications say. Now, this is the first time that I actually lightly believe them, simply because they also have 40 plus other applications going on at the same time. So, slow and steady wins the blockchain, or whatever people say. Kraken says the SEC is dropping the lawsuit with prejudice, with no admission of wrongdoing, no penalties paid, and no changes to our business. According to Kraken, the SEC's investigation was politically motivated and meritless. Of course, it was Gary Gensler, and I will not wish evil upon anyone. I hope he has an absolutely splendid day. That's all I'm going to say there. This was said about Kraken's investigation, yada, yada, yada. The SEC is wrong in the wrong direction, yada, yada, blah, blah, so and so and so. They've recently, so they've dropped lawsuits against Coinbase, Robinhood, OpenSea, MetaMask, Kraken, I think Binance as well, unless I'm mistaking something. They just dropped a lawsuit against the Bored Ape Yacht Club as well, and saying basically that their NFTs and the coin that they created are insecurities. And there's one other one that there's like a bunch of, once again, this is basically every day that this is happening. So yeah. This is very nice to see. I hope we continue in this direction. And what I'm actually really hoping for, I want the SEC to give proper rules and regulations for this market. It's the only way that like big money will get in and stay in the market. They need to know exactly what's going on for their own sake and for their taxes and blah, 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 blah. I want a list of exactly what a coin needs to be considered a security or a commodity, exactly what a protocol has to do to be deemed a secure. Like I want everything laid out. And I mean, I'm just an investor. I'm not one of like the actual companies who needs proper regulation, because this has gone on for far too long. This should not have been a 10, 11, 12 year story. So hopefully this year with the new SEC, we get proper regulation by summer. Give me like a good July, August, so we can just move on. We can have a whole new like world where we don't have to go, well, I don't know if that's, no, like it's nonsense. Like, so cool. It's a bit scary getting actual good SEC news, because we normally never did. That's the SEC news. And yeah, let's move on. I dare say whoever wrote this article, you deserve an award, because I really applaud you for actually making news that is not only relevant, but also honest. One of the things that has bothered me for a while now, and it's only been a good year because, they kind of just started, is this idea that we constantly are having massive outflows to ETFs. For those of you who've missed the last 800 videos, basically what happens is if prices go up, we have inflows into ETFs. If prices go down, we often still have inflows into ETFs. The issue ends up being is that people only count if there are outflows. So as we've gone over before, last summer, on any given day, like one time, We had inflows into a Bitcoin ETF of, I think, 80 million or something like that. But that same day, there were $7 million worth of outflows. Can you guess which one was the news that everyone was covering? It was the 7 million of outflows, and they were discussing how, Bitcoin might go down $7 million. And it's like, no, that's not at all how that works. So even with prices, when they were, going crazy a couple of weeks ago, going down, there was a lot of news discussing, it was like 7 days worth of outflows. And it was like, yeah, but you're not covering at all when there are still inflows. People see the prices go down, and there's usually, also as the prices go down, people will sell. But then towards the end of the day, more people buy in because it's at a lower price. So we constantly get a very negative view on, and it's just crazy, on the actual ETFs and how much money that they have inside of them. But even from the actual perspective of, how do I say this? It's not liquidity, but the actual market cap of this entire ecosystem. If Bitcoin's at $1.5 trillion as a market cap, an outflow of $7 million is nothing. It's like you walking down the street and finding like a literal grain of sand. 7 million to 1.5 trillion does nothing. Even if we had consecutive days of $100 million flowing out from the market, even if we got to $12 billion worth of outflows, Bitcoin's market cap is still exception. It just doesn't. So whoever wrote this article, thank you very much. Round of applause. He talks about the world of crypto investments, yada, yada, compelling stories. Recently, all eyes have been on Bitcoin ETFs, especially as inflow numbers have shown a dip. But here's the fascinating twist. Despite these fluctuations, Bitcoin ETFs are proving their mettle, holding on to a staggering 95% of their invested capital. Even as inflows continue, if the number goes down at all, it is the news that we receive. It's something negative. It's something scary. We got to fill this because, and I'm seeing a whole bunch of like CME Gap news again. You guys are losers. Like, stop it. Stop trying to make everyone afraid of something that they don't have to be afraid of. Bitcoin futures have no merit, and I'll back that up, and I'll say they should have no merit at all on prices, as they are not even dealing in physical Bitcoin. They're dealing in US dollar valuations on a completely different exchange for where these manipulators think that Bitcoin's price should be. Filling a gap is nonsense. I understand washing out shorts and washing out longs. I got it. But we constantly, every cycle, have a narrative of exactly how scared we should be for something that's in the news. Despite all the negative news you've heard since February 2024, think of that time frame. Bitcoin ETFs are still holding on to 95% of their invested capital. Then they go a little bit further and they start talking about money and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, yeah, of course. Of course. Did you think that this wasn't popular? Did you think that BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF fund was not going to survive and thrive? This happens so often in the market, and I know it is just because of manipulation. There's always something. This is what I always tell you. I've been telling you for years and years and years. This happens nonstop. You think that manipulation in one turn is literally just, the price is falling and whales buying up your coins. No, it's this as well. It's the narrative that, well, the Bitcoin futures said that Bitcoin must go lower, so price has to go lower. You should all be terrified. Well, the rich people are saying it has to happen. The Bitcoin ETFs had $14 million worth of outflows, not telling you that the inflows were 95 million. These people hold over 1 million Bitcoin. You think the companies and institutions who are getting into this are retail, that they're in it for the quick, fast money? These people know that Bitcoin's going to several $1 million per coin. They know it. They're buying and they're holding. It just, Anywho, this was the only article I've ever seen like this in over a year that made sure to say, yeah, there are outflows to the ETFs, but 95% of it is still there, and they're accumulating more all the time. Rich people are going to own all the Bitcoin, like all of it. Like, it sounds like a joke when I say it, because I was telling my friend one time, I was like, I want all the Pokemon, and like it sounds like it sounds crazy. They're going to own all of it. Every single last Bitcoin. And this is how they're doing it. Anywho, that's the Bitcoin ETFs are doing just fine news. And while everyone is being distracted, rich people are buying up more Bitcoin because that's just what they do. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Oh boy. So, you know how like we were talking about like optimism news and how like everyone's like, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. Like all these, like everyone like really excited. Well, we're also entering like flippening territory. For those of you who are for some reason unaware of this gigantic event, a lot of people have been predicting flippenings for a while. The most popular of the flippenings is this idea of Ethereum flipping Bitcoin in market cap and price, basically. This was, tale as old as time. Everyone used to go completely insane over this idea that Ethereum was faster, had more transactions, yada, yada, yada. The likelihood of that happening now are slim to... Oh, gosh, I have to sneeze. Oh, gosh, go away. Oh gosh, sorry, that was terrible. Oh, that one like built up for like 15 seconds as well. That was terrible. The point is, that narrative has kind of disappeared in the last couple of years because Bitcoin's market cap is like incredibly strong, and we're talking about Bitcoin like 10xing between now and the next 2 to 3 years. However, my friends, the other narrative that is, when I say getting louder, people on the internet, first of all, the people from believers in XRP are celebrating constantly every day because, they're being vindicated, the coin's doing great, White House stuff, blah, 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 all the ETFs being filed as well. The other part of that is that in the long ago, XRP did become the number 2 coin. And then it only needed to double in price before it actually overtook Bitcoin. All the hate that you see about XRP comes from Bitcoin maximalists, like the vast majority of it, because they were on a really strong campaign to make sure that everyone hated XRP. So that it didn't continue rising higher in price. I was there. I saw it. I remember all of it. However, I think XRP flipped Ethereum, I want to say 2 or 3 times historically, like actually becoming the number 2 coin. And with the very large amount of XRP ETFs on the way, the lawsuit getting dropped, ? Ripple going public, and a plethora of other things, people now think once again that XRP is going to not only pass by Ether, but also get incredibly close in market cap to Bitcoin. It says the cryptocurrency market is no stranger to ambitious forecasts, but Crypto Michael's recent statement has ignited intense discussions. According to him, XRP is poised to overtake Ethereum and become the second largest crypto by market cap this year. He emphasized that when this shift occurs, the headlines, market frenzy, and fear of missing out will be insane. Now, and I will say this much right now. I'm seeing a rather precocious uptick in the amount of Bitcoin maximalists who are like kind of on like double duty, trying to make sure that they spread as much nonsense about XRP as possible. You might have seen, what's this guy's name? Michael Saylor is like, I wouldn't say Bitcoin maximalist. He just owns a lot of it and is very rich from it. But I don't think he actually understands what Bitcoin really is. That's not being mean or shady. I just really don't think he understands like what actual decentralization means when you want the United States to own 50% of all Bitcoin. However, recently, I think he was on some news publication and they were asking him about Bitcoin. And he was like, blah, 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 blah. And then they were asking him about XRP and his face kind of dropped because they were like, yeah, you know, what do you feel about XRP being in the National Crypto Reserve for the United States? And I think a lot of like, and I mean maximalists, you might like Bitcoin, but you might still own altcoins. I think a lot of maximalists are like coming to terms with the fact that they are not the only coin on the market and probably never will be. I expect even in 15 to 20 years, we're probably going to live in a world where Bitcoin is like it. We're all using Lightning Network and things cost Satoshis, you know, cool that. But these other coins will still exist and people will still be using them and they'll have other use cases and yada, yada, yada. But if you missed before, I mean, a lot of you weren't here. The first time it happened, when XRP became number 2, you want to talk about euphoric? Like you've never been through a euphoric phase like that. The market lost its ever-loving mind. And I remember going on Twitter, and there was another platform I used to use. I forgot exactly what it was. People were, the Bitcoin lovers were going ballistic. They couldn't believe it. They said oh my gosh, remember this? They were writing emails to CoinMarketCap to take XRP off the list because XRP was made by the guy from Stellar Lumens. They were also claiming that the amount of XRP in circulation on CoinMarketCap was a lie and that it was much higher. And then the other ones were saying that CoinMarketCap, I forgot what it was. It was all revolving around like they didn't want people to see the coin anywhere. There was a whole campaign about it. It was actually, I was like, you guys are nuts. Like, calm down. None of you are Satoshi. Like, cool it. Crypto Michael's prediction reflects growing optimism surrounding XRP, particularly in the wake of its potential inclusion in the U.S. crypto reserve and increasing adoption across border payments. It says, however, flipping Ethereum is no small feat, and such a shift would require an extraordinary surge in XRP's market cap, accompanied by either stagnation or decline in Ethereum's valuation. I'm not sure if you guys have been seeing Ethereum recently. I don't think it's that difficult anymore. I don't exactly know what's going on with Ethereum. I haven't been able to really figure it out. It is still the most used blockchain. I think there's an upgrade coming for it. Is it the first week of April or something like that? But yeah, Ethereum needs to actually do something because it's just looking like really sad. We're still not above the previous all-time high of 4,800. And yeah, if we keep getting more and more good XRP news, the lawsuit dropped and we get at least 5 of those XRP ETFs and Ripple goes public, yeah, it's going to become the number 2 coin again. It's not really a discussion. It's kind of just a matter of when it actually ends up taking place at this point. This was also obviously popular news, but this has been a discussion for the last couple of months now. Yeah. Anywho, I think that's going to do it for this video. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.